What is happening, everybody? My name's Seven and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this Fortnite video. If you enjoy it, smash a like and join the 7 squad by hitting that subscribe. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a bunch of different things you can do to try and improve your accuracy while playing Fortnite Battle Royale. I hope the video is of help to you. First things first, you're going to need to practice with the weapons. It's the most standard thing we can all think of because we're here to improve the accuracy of us using these weapons. Now, the footage you see in the background was recorded from before the latest update, so I know the menu won't last as long as it used to, but I used to go to these tires in the menu and I used to practice the shooting between the targets. Now, this same technique is great for getting used to a sensitivity because you need to get the right sensitivity that is for you to help you improve your accuracy. Now, what I would do is I would just stand and I would just shoot between these different targets. Now, because if you can't go to here and do this, don't worry about it. All you can do is land into a game itself if you want to, and you can then go and say spot a trash can in the distance, a sign in the distance, a car, maybe you want to shoot at a specific part of the car, and you can then practice with your sensitivity to shoot between these different objects. Now, in the settings you're able to go to this. Now, I play on Xbox, but on PC it'll be exactly the same. You'll be able to use the X and the Y, which is your horizontal and your vertical. Now, I put this down to 0.3 to kind of slow the aim down a little bit. The more that I slow the aim down, the more precise I am. So I advise playing on a lower sensitivity, not too high, and then practice between different objects, aim between different objects to actually get used to that sensitivity. So pick the right sensitivity and then practice moving between objects with it. For this one, you might think I'm a little bit crazy, especially if you're new to the game, but if you're not, I'm pretty sure you've already done this as a confident player in Fortnite or in PUBG. The same thing applies. What you want to do is you want to play squads as a solo. You don't want it to fill, you just want to go in by yourself because there is more targets that are going to go against you more rapidly. So land in a congested area and then go in and fight against more people. This will be perfect as target practice. So once you've got comfortable with your sensitivity and you've practiced aiming between different objects to get used to the sensitivity, go and put it to practice by jumping into squads solo. Go in completely alone and go and try and cause some conflict. Now, this probably isn't going to end great, but if you manage to get the right sequence of events to occur, you practice, your shot gets better, you can easily get wins playing solo in squads. Now, I've never pulled it off myself, but I have got close. But that's just me. You might be able to pull it off with ease, and I hope that you can. So use this technique definitely to practice using them as a target to improve your shot overall. It's all about practice, practice, practice. If you don't feel confident enough to go into squads solo, then go into squads with your friends. The more targets that are going to be working together, the harder it is for you to win. But this is what you need to develop your accuracy. If you're placed into a position where everything's too easy, you'll never get better. You need to be put against better players in situations that are awkward, where you're maybe doing a 1 versus 3. In these positions, you are forced to try harder, and when trying harder, you will develop your skills more the more you're placed in these situations. This applies to everything in life, not only Fortnite Battle Royale, just as a tip. But what I like to do when I go into squads is make sure I play with the same people over and over again. So I tend to play with my brother, my friend Twist, my friend Captain Blue, Aurora, and we all go in and we just kind of mix up the squads, but we're all used to playing with each other, and it makes it really well, way more fun. It gives us a high chance of winning because we're used to each other's chemistry, know how each other are going to play. We can help each other out because we're friends, we know how to communicate. And so try and put yourself in a position where you have a squad, land into squads, and use this as a way to develop your skill. Develop theirs, develop your own, and overall you'll develop into a really powerful group, which will not only help you get more wins, but it will over time improve your accuracy as a player and your decision making as well, because accuracy isn't just about pointing and shooting, it's about making the right play so that you're in the right position so that you have the advantage over the enemy. Definitely play with better players, definitely practice as much as you possibly can, and this is honestly one of the most important tips I can provide you out there. Don't just play solo. Play as a team as well. No matter whether you're playing solo in squads or whether you're playing squads or you're playing solos or you're playing duos, no matter what your mode, what your intention, you need to land in the congested areas. You need to land in the really popular locations, those big cities, places where lots of people like to jump, which basically means jumping when the plane first comes in. When that bus comes flying over, you see everybody jumping out, you need to be one of those people, because if you don't get into the conflict, you're not going to be able to practice. Now, there isn't currently a targeting mode where you can go in and just shoot against bots. That would be brilliant, because that would be a great way of practicing your shot. At competitive events, this is what happens. People go into custom matches, like in Call of Duty, say, for example, and they will just sit and play for hours and hours and hours against bots. The same thing happens in CSGO. They just go in, they just play against each other, and they just try and practice to improve their shots. Now, if you don't do this by landing in congested areas, when it gets to a gunfight, you're going to have had less practice in those situations. You won't be able to contend against someone that's jumping, someone that's ducking, someone that's using materials as cover, or as an actual defense in any other way, somebody who's built a certain structure where they're only head glitching. If you can't improve your accuracy and get used to the certain gunfights, you're going to be screwed. So no matter what your accuracy is, if you don't know how to play in a situation, you're going to struggle anyway. So definitely land in the most popular places when trying to improve your accuracy as a player, no matter whether you're on console or whether you're on PC. This is definitely something that you need to do. And in my personal opinion, I feel like it's easier to aim on PC. It's more difficult if you're not used to it, but once you're used to a keyboard and a mouse, the accuracy is so much nicer. Once you can get that sensitivity on the go, it's more precise. You're not fighting against the strength of an analog stick. Obviously it's not that strong, but it's fighting back to push itself back to the center. You've got to use your muscles to control it, and I feel like using a mouse and a keyboard allows you to improve your accuracy a lot more. So if you're a PC player, you're probably dominating those like congested areas anyway. But I'm not saying console players can't do the same, because of course everyone's on the same board on their own platforms. Everyone's with a keyboard and a mouse on PC, and everybody's with a controller on console, unless you do some mad stuff and like set it up differently. But in general, you're all on the same level platform. Every weapon feels different, and I've already made videos talking about the better weapons in the game and the better loadouts that you can carry. So let's take the assault rifle for example. You need to practice both when shooting at targets and also when you're not, to actually control the recoil of the weapon. Now this can be done by fighting in the opposite direction to the natural kick of a weapon. So if you just look at a wall, or when you're shooting a target, if you don't fight against the recoil of the weapon, you can see the recoil pattern of a weapon very clearly. You might shoot an assault rifle and it might have a little bit of left vertical kick. So it might, when just without controlling or fighting against that recoil, when you just auto fire a weapon, you might see it just jolt up a little bit. Then you need to counter that. So whichever direction the weapon pushes, when you don't control the recoil, you need to then in future fight the recoil in the opposite direction. So if your weapon is kicking a lot upwards to the left, so like vertically left, all you need to do is like go bottom right. So you want to then learn to control and pull maybe your analog stick, or if you're a PC player, fight it with your mouse. And if you master the recoil pattern of a particular weapon, you're going to be very, very good with it. And I know that a lot of players have to, say for example, take an SMG, and instead of being able to control the recoil pattern where it sprays, they just single shot a single weapon, just like it's a shotgun. And that is a great technique as well, single fire as well as full auto. But if you can control recoil, you'll be able to be more successful with your full auto. And as we know, when we look at pro players in other games, we do see that they learn to control the automatic fire of weapons really well, and it makes them so deadly because they can fire those controlled rounds a lot faster than the single fire controlled rounds of your average player. I definitely advise picking up weapons, just going into games, and even if it just means spraying at a wall with your ammunition, and I know ammo is hard to get a hold of, so this isn't going to be the easiest of processes, but if you get that fortunate situation, that right weapon you want to practice with, spray at a wall, get your practice in, learn the recoil of the weapon, and then it's going to help you in those situations where you're like weak and you need to go full auto instead of single fire. Always remember that accuracy is just a matter of muscle memory. Whether you're a PC player or a console player, you just need to practice, and these are the best ways that I find to practice. Practice aiming at still targets, practice with different weapons, try and fight the recoil of full auto, learn to single shot and get those critical hits, land in the congested areas and feel confident. But overall, the most important thing is just having that confidence. If you believe in yourself as a player, you will play better, and over time with the practice and the muscle memory, you will develop your accuracy, and I believe that you'll become a pinpoint fireman. You will do very, very good indeed, and this is all you need to do in Battle Royale. I do hope that these tips have helped you. If they have, please do let me know in the comments. If there's any I've missed, please let me know as well, because I'll pin comments or like notify people of other ideas that people have that might help, because of course I'm not perfect. I'm still learning and developing as well, but I wanted to give to you the things that I have learned and that I use on a general basis. As a bonus tip, use centering. So this basically means walking around corners or like around the map with your movement so that your aim is always prepared to shoot at an enemy. If you're already prepared and your enemy isn't using centering as a technique, then you're going to get the first bullets, and with great accuracy you're always going to get the kill. This is a technique used by pro players, so you're always prepared when moving around, going around a corner or moving in an area like a building. You're always prepared to take those shots that will then critically take out the enemy. So I hope this video has helped you. If it has, let me know in the comments. That'd be awesome. I look forward to speaking to you all there. My name's been Seven, also known as Martin Lee Wood. Like and comment on all that you love. Peace.